want you to listen to something. Did you hear that? That clunk back here at my cassette. This is something I've been fighting now for about a month. I've been testing out this wireless derailleur, an upgrade over my previous one. You'll see this in another video, and it's been working great. I have had this for months and months and months, and just all of a sudden, I started having a problem hopping between two gears. And then that problem spread as I started trying to micro adjust this derailleur, which is coolly easy to do. But I couldn't figure out why this wouldn't tune in, right here in the middle especially. Seemed like I could get it at the top, I could get it at the lower, but oh, listen there. You hear, that's my real problem gear. And I'm going to show you something in just a minute, because it turned out I was looking in all the wrong places. How many times have you been working on something, and it turns out that the problem was just right there in front of you? The whole time, you just didn't see it. And the reason I didn't see it here, and the reason I'm sharing this, is because if you've been fighting with your gear adjustment, especially if it's something that up until a certain point was working fine. This had been shifting. I've been riding this bike now for what, a year and a half, something like that, maybe 2 years. I had the previous wireless derailleur set up on it for at least 6 months. Now I've been testing this one for I think 3 or 4, and all of a sudden, problems presented themselves, and I couldn't explain it, especially right there. The 7th speed of my 9, the one that I'm in probably the most, just started having problems. Here the 8th, you hear how smooth that sounds. Go back down to the 7th, and you see it starts to get hoppy and then it settles in, but it's always clunky, and that's affecting the 6th. There's a very subtle effect on the 6th when I'm under power, under load. It affects there, even down to here. And it wasn't until I was in the parking lot with my phone out, double checking my micro adjustments, making just frantic changes, that I just happened to look at this from a different angle, and I saw something. I'm gonna try my best to give you a look at it here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it from this view. Yeah, you can actually see that. Do you see the gap appearing? Look very close. Actually, let me get on gloves. I've learned to use gloves when you're dealing with spinny bits, but I want you to look between the chain and this 8th gear. So we're in the 7th, but I want you to look between those two. And as I spin this around, do you see that? We're looking right there. You see that gap changing? It's not only changing there, it's changing as I work my way down to this next gear. It's more subtle here, but there is still a change there. Go down to this gear, and I can see it even just minutely there, even as far down as this gear, if you look closely. Yeah, my cassette is actually warped as I go around. This changes on a few gears, it looks like. At least to me, that this 7th gear is the primary one that was affected, and I'm guessing just the chain relaying to these other gears and being pressed inward has affected, just a few of these. Like this, and this. But let me just show you. Here's a little hex key, and I'm going to put it in, like say here. And I can easily fit it in. I can actually wobble it back and forth. But if I go down to here, I can't even get it in that little gap there without, well, it just barely fits in. Let me say it that way. It's really hard to see without the chain in there, but you just saw it moving, and I'll edit in what I hope shows it. This cassette is now toast, and I have a ride coming up in 2 hours, a group ride. I don't want to miss it, so what am I going to do? I have a 12-speed group set, a very nice one that one of my buddies gifted me, to use on this bike, but then I had that wireless setup that came in. I've been happy with the 9-speed. I mean, it's giving me the gear range. That little motor hiding back there, that's 95 newton meters of torque. I don't really need more than a 9-speed on this, and whatever tooth that is up front. So I'm thinking I need to start looking through and see what I have, because, I have spare parts. Well, it doesn't get any easier than this. It turns out I had this laying out from where I was reorganizing earlier, which means moving one pile into another pile. Oh, still have my glove on. From where I was working on that. Let me show you what this is. Here's the barcode. Pretty sure that I bought this on Amazon. I'll put a link down in the description. But this believe it or not. As much as I don't like this brand because of the forks, Bologna or Bologna, this is a cassette. And it's going to work for what I need, but I'm actually going to lose a gear because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So wait, where am I losing my gears at? Oh yeah, there's where I'm losing my gears. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is only an 8-speed. But that previous cassette, I know the top gear was a 42. And if I look close enough on this, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right there. So let me see what the lowest gear on this is. That is an 11 tooth. If I look at this old cassette, oh, there it is right there. It says 11. So it goes from 42 down to 11 tooth. I'll have my 11 to 42 tooth range. It's going to give me everything I need, and I have it. That means I can put it on fast and be right back on the trail because, as mentioned, a ride in 2 hours. It'll only take me about 5 minutes to do this. I already have the tools laid out. I have my breaker bar, I have my cassette tool, and I have my chain whip. I'm going to use all of this. You've seen me use it before, but I figure why not since we're this far in. I'll put links to this down in the description as well. If you own a bike with a cassette, you really do need to have these 2 tools. Breaker bar you can get from anywhere. This is a Craftsman breaker bar. It was a gift from my dad years ago. It's a straightforward process. Doesn't take a lot. To get a cassette off, again, you just have to have the right tools. Remember those 2 gears that were in the baggie? That's all there is, and then this just slides right off. And while we're here, might as well look at these splines, make sure they're all in good shape still, and yeah, everything's looking good. A cassette, 2 extra gears, and a little lock ring, which is pretty funny. In that bag, it looked like it was fancy anodized, and I guess it is, but it just looks, well, kind of cheaply anodized now that I have it out. Like I said, baloney parts, Bologna, hit or miss. That's just the way it is. I am going to add a little bit of grease. I'm going to do that in here and just smear a little bit around there on the inside, just for the threads for this lock ring as it goes on, because that's actually sealed behind that, so don't have to worry with that. If you've never put on a cassette, flip it over, you're going to see these little grooves here, and there's going to be one groove that's smaller than the others. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's right here, and I always like to kind of orientate to where I've got my one small groove. Where are you? There you are. So I got top to top. I'm just going to look this through, slide it on, and take my next 2 gears. I have one that's 11 tooth. The next one is a 13 tooth. So I'm going to look for the same thing on these. They have the thicker, and there's the thinner. I know it's on the top. Slide that on. Then I have my final one, my 11 tooth. Same thing on it. There's the thinnest one. It's going to go right there. Make sure these are seated in. I'm going to get my lock ring, and I'm going to go ahead and just hand thread this in, making sure I don't strip anything. Very carefully. Take your time if you're doing this for the first time, because this is definitely something you don't want to strip. See, I'm struggling with this one. Just slowly do it. I'm not forcing anything. Okay, see, I've run into a problem here. I'm having problems threading this on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reverse the process here. I'm taking these 2 off so I can get down to where I can see what's going on here. And I can already tell where my problem is, and it's these starter threads. The anodizing on these looks a little rough. So I'm going to see if I can get it started. Kind of let it work its way. Yeah, it's that roughness. I don't know if you could hear that. That roughness. Let me get my tool here. I'm just going to kind of work it back and forth until it starts freeing up. And then I'm going to take off and I'm going to inspect to make sure nothing's cross threading. Looking good. Yeah, see, that's starting a little easier right there just from that little bit. This is why I'm not a fan of this brand. I know some people have had very good luck, but I have just seemed to gotten all the duds, it seems like, or enough that scared me off of this brand. So usually look for something else, but that's what it was. just the poor anodizing on this. So now that I've got that done, I'm going to go right back. I'm going to put my gears, find my one singular. There it is. Go back with the 13 tooth first. Singular up top, or thin up top. My 11 tooth. And let's try this again. Yeah, so much different. Again, having the right tools, I mean, this is a required thing to have the tools here. Not going to be able to run down to Harbor Freight or Lowe's or anywhere like that and get this tool, at least not that I'm aware of, to do this. So I'm going to torque this down, and this needs to be to 40 Newton meters. I'm going to use German spec, Guten Titan. Get this torque down to 40 Newton meters, which would be about there. And this cassette is installed. Now I'm going to put it on. I'm going to have to remap everything with that wireless derailleur because this is an 8-speed instead of a 9-speed. Let me do that, and I'll show you this in action. And here we are. Look at it. In the problem area, well, technically, the problem area would have been here because this is an 8-speed now. But it physically looked like in this area, especially that gear and that gear. Well, actually, that gear and that gear would have been the two. But look at that. No spacing issues, no hopping, no changing. Works like a champ. Can't wait to show you this derailleur and how well it works. Because it works. Now that I have it dialed in, we'll see how long this baloney cassette lasts. That's a big curiosity at this point. It's on an e-bike, 95 Newton meters of torque. So we'll find out soon. I thought I would share this experience with you. Have you ever had a cassette warp? Can we see it as I rotate it here? Yeah, right there. Look at that. See this area? That does not look normal. That's not what you want to see. Yeah, that is done for. But now it's replaced. And now you know the story. Comment below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.